thing I'm going to try and do next is hello and welcome to another episode of The Art of Engineering. Isn't it marvelous what you can come across on the 7 megahertz amateur band? Some smooth jazz. Obviously a harmonic from another shortwave station. Hi, just finished a QSO on the Oz QRP 40 meter rig, and it was with a gentleman, I think his name's Peter, VK2WP, and he's in Bathurst, and sent out a CQ. It's a Monday, not a lot happening on the band, so 5 watts QRP, managed to work, Bathurst 300, 400 Ks away. But he was getting me 5 and 9, and I was getting his signal just, like I could barely copy. And I'm strongly suspecting that since I installed the new 100 watt UNUN, signals have been down on receive. It seems to transmit fine. I've worked Victoria, South Australia, etc., without any issues, but signal strength on receive seems to be lower than I'm strongly suspecting than this QRP UNUN that I built originally. Now, the reason for that was probably because the toroids that I was given, Chris told me originally that he suspected one was a common mode rejection choke, and the other one, or a toroid for a common mode rejection choke, and the other toroid was for a balun or an UNUN. And I've stacked them together. I did a resistive check on them. They both were open circuit when you did the resistive check, and consensus online seems to suggest that that would indicate that they were good toroids to use for a balun or an UNUN, but that may not be correct. That's the trouble with a lot of the folklore that you encounter online. As you can tell, I'm not an RF engineer. I'm just an amateur who likes to play with antennas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a signal source. We're going to use the boat anchor, the TS520 signal meter, and I'm going to swap in and out the original 15 watt QRP UNUN that I had, and we're going to then check it against the 100 watt and see what sort of signal strength difference we have between the QRP UNUN and the 100 watt UNUN. If there is a big difference, then that'll indicate to me that the core material on one of those toroids is probably not the correct type of toroid, and it's not a big deal. I'll order a new toroid and retrofit it into the 100 watt UNUN, so I will have 100 watt capability on the antenna. But for the meantime, if this is a better performer, it will be put into service. So without further ado, let's get the ladder up, let's get out on the roof, set up a signal source, and check it all out. Stick with me. So what I've done is I've set the nano VNA up for a frequency of 7020 on the, I had an SDR radio that, crappy clone one that I've done a video on, and that's the antenna for it. And we're going to take that outside. At the moment, you can hear that, that tone at 7020. So what I'm going to do is take this outside and see if we can get the signal to come down a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to swap in the QRP UNUN, 49 to 1 UNUN, and just see if there's an appreciable difference in signal. And that's our setup. Remember, if you like this video, hit the bell notification
like and subscribe.
And please, comment
below.
As my luck would have it, or lack of care probably, when I got up on the roof, I noticed that as I disconnected the coax BNC connector, it wasn't actually twisted on properly. So it was taped down and it was plugged in, but not engaged correctly. So what's happened is after plugging that back in again, we're looking at a signal of close to 7, so about 6 3/4. So I'm just going to now go up and swap in the QRP UNUN and see if it makes a difference. And absolutely no difference whatsoever. Okay, so this is a VK2RSY in Sydney. It's a 28 megahertz beacon. We've got about 3 S points. That is on the QRP UNUN. I'm just going to swap it over to my high power UNUN and see if it makes a difference. We've retrieved our remote beacon that we used to test, and we've also done a test on a 10 meter local beacon as well, which is still further away than using this thing to test. And what I found out is that on S points on the rig here, there's no difference between the QRP UNUN and the 100 watt UNUN. Did a few other signal tests as well on comparison basis, and they appear to be operating exactly the same. So either I've got 2 completely crap UNUNs, which is a possibility, or it's working. Orientation of my antenna seems to favour VK5, VK7, VK3 and VK4. So I seem to be heading north-south. I haven't actually looked at the orientation of the antenna. I'm assuming that it's better performer on broadside, but it's inverted V and it's not perfectly ideal height, etc., etc. So who knows? But that seems to be where, if I am getting anything, that's the directions they seem to be coming from. Once again, not scientific, just playing. I think the UNUN is working. Wow, you're still here. Thank you for staying for the whole video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'd like to thank all the new subscribers who have come on board. I'm now heading past 800 subscribers, which makes me very happy. It means the videos are getting out there and people are enjoying them. Please let me know in the comment section below if there's anything you'd like me to investigate. The next video, or the videos to come, one of them's hopefully going to be my homebrew, completely homebrew station. I started setting that up. I had the amplifier in my chocolate box receiver ready to go, and of course it's smoked itself, so we're back to square one. I was playing with the transmitter last night. It's putting out 350 milliwatts, and I was getting into the SDR online radio in South Australia quite clearly. So if anyone had been up at 11:30, quarter to 12, they may have actually been able to answer me, but I was listening on the SDR radios in New South Wales and in South Australia, and giving it a good old crack. But I really want to get the whole station up. That will mean homebrew Morse key, homebrew transmitter, receiver, antenna, everything. It'll be a real hoot to make a QSO on that station, being as it's very low power and it's completely scratch built and very, very basic. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. 7.3, this is VK2 AOE QRT.